Good morning from Lausanne, Switzerland. This morning we're heading out to do a little exploring. We're going over to Chillon Castle, which is supposed to be the best, biggest, most fabulous castle in all of Switzerland. It's just about a half-an-hour train ride from here. So we thought we'd take you along. So we're in the first courtyard that you come into in the castle. This courtyard was originally smaller than this, but there was an earthquake in the early 1500s, and when they rebuilt it, they made it a little bit larger. Okay, so we're going down into the cellars now. Archaeologists have dated this from the 11th century. They used it for storage. There's some more down there. I guess we'll go down there in a minute.
For one of my favorite things, wine.
He used it for his favorite thing, wine, he says. These are probably full of current wine.
Yeah, they are full.
But it stays a constant temperature here underground, so it's perfect for storing and aging the wine. Looks like they probably stored grains down here and vegetables, like a root cellar. This is very cool, literally cool.
This room originally was a storehouse, and during a certain period of time as part of the garrison. Later on, it was actually used to store munitions. That was in the 18th century. It was used as a place to store artillery and munitions. And you can see each one of these windows is built as a fortification to be able to shoot
The narrow
munitions from either direction.
Right, the little narrow openings. You can see here they just built it right into the rock. They didn't even carve it out. Something they're not in short supply of here is rock. Here again. Now I wonder what these little chambers were for, or is it just they built these as part of the passageways? And
This here was used as a prison.
Ah, this was one of the prison cells, huh?
Yes, this was used as a prison.
Not very big.
No, not very comfortable, as you can see.
And pretty darn cold.
A small door built in the castle wall, fortification possibly allowed the castle.
Oh, so they could have loaded and unloaded goods from here, from this door, right onto a ship that pulled up right alongside the castle.
Yes, and was used in an escape when the Bernese attacked the fort in 1536.
The who?
The Bernese, you know, like the sauce.
That's Bernays. When was the castle
Well, they said 11th
started?
century. So
11th century. So, wow, look at these steep stairs.
let me see if I can figure that out.
Those are some very steep stone stairs. Here's a teeny weeny little door, both short and narrow. I don't know about in this castle, but we've always been told in other older buildings that the small doors were not because the people were smaller, but to keep heat in.
Well, not only that, defense. Only one person
And
can come
defense,
through at a
true,
time, so
true.
if you have a large invading force.
This one, in this case, this may have very well been for defense purposes. So this part of the basement or dungeons was used as a cell for prisoners condemned to death. And here on the south wall is a charcoal sketch representing the crucifixion of Christ, the Virgin, and St. John. They believe done by a prisoner. This is a very long section, dug into the rock and fortified by these stone arches that they put in place. Lord Byron immortalized the prison of Chillon in a poem in June of 1816, and so the castle has put a plaque here to commemorate that. Apparently it was a notorious prison.
It was not a nice place.
No, it wouldn't have been a very nice place. So now we're going down into the crypt. Oh, this is very small, very tight. Probably not for claustrophobics. Oh goodness, was this a cell?
This is the crypt.
Oh, this is the crypt, yeah, okay. So, a burial chamber back here maybe? The crypt and its reliquary. Looks like they've taken the reliquary out. Now, this is down under that first courtyard we came into.
And the chapel was just above us.
The chapel was originally just above us, and this is what the original reliquary looked like. Wow, this just goes on and on. This is really cool. More tombs back here, you think? I'm guessing there would have been more tombs back here. Some tiny little stairs right there. You can go any farther? If you don't feel comfortable going up these stairs, you can always go back. Wow. Back into the courtyard. Okay, so this was the dining room for the constable. It was part of the private quarters until the 13th century. Well, you can smell the fireplace. Yeah, this was the kitchen area.
You can see the mechanism to be able to constantly turn.
Yeah.
You're cooking.
Yeah, like that one we saw at Hampton Court Palace that had six.
Exactly right. And you can see you're set up here to do a number of things.
Yeah.
Because the coals can be put on the side as well.
Is that what these are for the coals?
That's a wood box.
So they use tempera paint to reproduce the pattern on the walls as it would have been.
But the wood columns are originally dated from the 13th century, which is magnificent.
Yeah, these are really cool. Over here in the light. These are original 13th century, and I'm assuming the ceiling is original.
It did not say, but I would assume so as well. It looks.
If the columns survived it, well, I don't know. You can kind of see some dark. Yeah, so maybe they've replaced some of it.
That would be my guess.
But that's amazing that these columns have survived. Where are we going now?
14.
He said 14. Would you read your brochure and see what 14 is? This was the Salon of St. Peter. And I believe that the use of salon in this castle denotes that it was a ceremonial type room. This is quite an impressive collection of these because these were essentially their suitcases. They were filled with their possessions and taken everywhere they went. So because they were treated so roughly, very few of them survived. And they have a really good collection here. These are from the Renaissance period in the 18th century. You can see they begin to get more ornate versus the 13th century ones that were on the other side. This is the chamber just outside of the bedroom. And here's a small little tunnel. These were typically used to connect the rooms for the servants so that they could go from room to room without being seen. I suspect that's what this is. Here's the bedroom. This was the baronet. And here you see the firebox, which was the way they heated these old castles. This was the Lord's bedroom. So this was where the royalty slept.
Just the original fresco. This is the fourth courtyard, known as the curtain wall courtyard. It was entirely designed to defend and control the old road. The thick walls and the narrow openings were used as arrows, slots, and battlements.
Looks like the towers were like watchtowers too.
Very much so.
And then they could have stood up here and shot through the windows there.
Yeah, this is where you come for call to arms.
These were the original defense windows for them to shoot out of. And then when firearms were introduced, they made them smaller, and they called these loopholes. So they could see out of the cross section there and shoot out of the smaller hole there at the bottom and see out of there, but they shot from out of there. So now we're walking along the rampart. Oh, look, some armor and chainmail. There's the chainmail, a couple of suits of armor, and some really mean looking spears. Well, that was absolutely the best castle we've ever done. It has everything you expect in a medieval castle, including the secret passages between rooms, dungeon, prison cells, and on top of everything, it sits on this beautiful lake with the Alps in the background. And it took us, I think we spent about a little over 2 hours in there. We pretty much took our time. You could spend less or more, obviously, but if you're anywhere near the Lake Geneva area, Montreux or Salon, it's a must-do. Definitely come out. It's just a 30-minute train ride from Salon. It's really easy to get to, and I highly recommend it.